This will be the first reading of the local law, which does not include the final vote. The second reading and final vote will take place at a special Common Council meeting on Thursday, January 26th. Both meetings begin at 7:30 p.m. and will be hybrid meetings, both in chambers and on Zoom. All dates are listed on the city's website and on Engage Kingston because nobody's taking notes. At this time, I encourage you to look at the maps and ask any questions to council members. There is also a pad here if you would like to speak. Once we start the formal hearing, please do sign up. And on behalf of my colleagues on the council, we look forward to hearing your thoughts and concerns. So we will break into a more casual Q&A and looking at the maps maybe for another 10-15 minutes, since I know you already had about 20 minutes. Thank you. I'll be back. All right, thank you for participating. We're gonna be starting off once the council members get kind of in place here. So we're going to start the formal part of the public hearing. This has been called by the Common Council of the City of New York in City of Kingston, New York, in regard to the redistricting of the maps of the City of Kingston. The clerk will announce each speaker. When it is your turn, please come on up, state your name and address for the record. All speakers will have 3 minutes to speak. Thank you in advance for adhering to the time limit. It's back here, so I'm going to have to adjust a little bit where that is. Zoom friends, if you could just please raise your hands if you want to speak. We'll do chamber speakers first, and then we'll move to our Zoom. All right, first speaker, please.
Lynn Johnson.
Hello, my name is Lynn Johnson. I live at 44 West Chestnut Street in Kingston in Ward 9. And I just have 2 comments. I'm very much against Plan C. The first reason is more of a current issue than a forward-looking issue. Plan C just drops the whole Wilbur area out of Ward 9 and puts it into Ward 5. And I believe that many of the constituents in that part of Ward 9 in the Wilbur area are huge fans of the current alderperson and voted strongly for her. And I feel it to some degree disenfranchises them. So that's one issue. Again, it's a current issue more than a forward-looking one. The second thing is, to my knowledge, in only one case are 2 alder people thrown together in one ward, and that would be the alder women in Ward 9 and Ward 5. And to my mind, that would be something very much to be avoided. I don't believe any of the alder people on the subcommittee or any of the other alder people in any of the wards face a similar fate. And to me, that disfavors those 2 candidates, and which is something that's not supposed to happen. So anyway, those are my 2 biggest reasons for not liking Plan C. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. As you could see, having issues with the clock, so I'm using the timer on my phone, but I'll give you the 30-second warning. Next speaker, please.
Daniel Woodham.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Woodham. I'm at 88 Rentham Street in Ward 6. And pleasure to be here in these chambers for the first time. It's a beautiful building. Contrary to the wonderful words of my ex-neighbor, who was a wonderful person to live across the street from on Chestnut, I'm for Plan C. And the reason is I'm a case manager at Ulster Immigrant Defense Network. I regularly talk with people mostly in Spanish and mostly from Midtown Kingston, even though it's all over Ulster County that we work with people. And so this is more of a forward thinking direction that I'm coming from, where the proposal on Plan C would divide more equitably people that are lower income, people that are immigrant background, and look to see the near future, I think, where we will have elected representatives who may not have been born here, but are now naturalized citizens. This is coming very soon into our town here and into Ulster County. So I would really hope that the council, in making their votes, think strongly about what's really coming soon. And what will be more equitable in that thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for coming to Chambers. Next speaker, please.
Jeannie Edwards.
My name is Jeannie Edwards. I lived at 64 Liberty Street, Kingston. And I agree with the gentleman that was just up there. I go for Plan C for the diversity that we have in our neighborhood is fabulous. And it, on the other side, on Aura and to Tremper from Broadway, we've always been a little separated. So it kind of keeps our ward together a little bit, and you get to participate more, you know, right there in Ward 4. So I really think that Plan C would be the best for us.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Michael Tierney.
Thank you, Council President Schott. Thank you, Chair Hill. I am largely in favor of Plan A. Sorry, my name is Michael Tierney. I live at 25 John Street. I am largely in favor of Plan A, speaking specifically from my ward in Uptown Kingston. I think that it concentrates tenants, like I'm a tenant, and allows more political representation for non-homeowners. I don't dislike Plan C, but I think it does a disservice to the tenants of the west side of Albany Avenue, particularly those in ETPA buildings, having representation. If you just look at the maps of what exists versus what Plan C is, I think you will always have a homeowner in Ward 1, Ward 3, Ward 6, Ward 7, maybe Ward 8, likely Ward 9 and Ward 5. And I think that home ownership versus tenant occupancy should be a consideration for this. And just again, speaking to my own ward, I would say if you could remove the large square footage single family homes and include on Pearl Street and that area, and put the tenants and those at Wiltwood Gardens on the west side of Albany Avenue in the second ward, I think that would make it a more equitable division. I think you've kind of cracked tenants rather than packed tenants. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Ian Donaldson.
Thank you for holding this hearing, Council President Shaw and Council Chairperson Barbara Hill. My name's Ian Donaldson. I live on 6 Elizabeth Street here in Ward 5. I've lived there my entire life. I am largely in favor of Plan C, but I do want to highlight a couple specific issues that I have with that plan. First and foremost, in Ward 4, the Fair and Wall Street corridor has predominantly their homeowners. In Ward 4, otherwise, it's the only majority ward in the city of Kingston. And I think lumping in the higher income folks on Fair Street and Wall Street, I have concerns that their voices will trample the people that really need the advocacy in Ward 4. And I also question whether or not like the inclusion of those higher per capita incomes will raise the per capita incomes in Ward 4 and make them ineligible, make Ward 4 ineligible for some of the community development block grants that it actually relies on. And in Ward 5, which is where I live, again, I have some serious concerns because it cuts deep into Ward 3, the current Ward 3, excuse me, and it also cuts deep into the current Ward 5. And the interests of the folks that live on in Uptown, on Pearl Street, on Linderman Ave, and in Glen Street, and those that live down on Lower Wilbur Avenue and towards the waterfront, and even those in Midtown, they're not one and the same. There's no sense of continuity or community between those three distinct areas. And for that reason, I really think that when looking at these maps, it should be actually reconsidered and kind of reconfigured for Ward 5 specifically. Thank you.
Is there anybody else in chambers who wishes to speak that has not? Anybody else in chambers who wishes to speak? Anybody else in chambers who wishes to speak? Do we have Zoom hands? Anybody in Zoom, just raise your Zoom hands. I'll wait 30 seconds. Well, hi, thank you very much for joining us here. We are going to take maybe a 5-minute recess and then go into our special laws and rules meeting to discuss maps A and C and the comments that we've heard through the website and emails, and of course the comments that we've heard today. You are more than welcome to stick around and hear it. There's no public participation, but our meeting is of course open to the public. So thank you again. I will call this public hearing adjourned at 6:50 p.m. Thank you, and we will see you back next time. But council members, 5 minutes. All right, thank you. Bye.